Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Keeping Score podcast, where I make the pivot from the Range Riders to local high school sports. I'm your host, Josh Amick, and let's get into what happened over the weekend, and I'll also tell you about some big things to look forward to this upcoming week in the Valley. Last week we had some great football and soccer matchups, but the highlight of the week was the Glacier Wolfpack girls flag football team winning their third straight state championship. After winning regionals in the week prior, the Wolfpack went into the state tournament as the 1 seed, but they were tested throughout the tournament in the new 2-day format. Their first game was Thursday night, where they played Hardin and won 44-0, setting up a triple header on Friday. The Pack defeated Three Forks 18-0 at 4, Lockwood 27-12 at 6, before playing Huntley Project in the final at 7:30. Huntley Project gave the Pack everything they could handle, and it took a huge fourth down stop to secure their win 18-13. Here's what head coach Mark Hessler had to say about the girls' performance.
Yeah, it really was quite an accomplishment by these girls. That was a very competitive, challenging tournament, and it was pretty amazing to see them get it done.
Glacier also had their annual Crosstown matchup with Flathead for the boys and girls soccer teams. On the girls' side, they beat Flathead 2-0 on goals from Neve Travis and Bailey Dahlman. On the boys' side, they also won 2-0 with goals from AJ Slogar and Liam Els. In cross country, there were 52 teams from 3 states, and it was Glacier runners Owen Thiel and Lauren Bisson that picked up individual wins at the Mountain West Classic at the University of Montana Golf Course on Saturday. In that same race, Flathead's Josie Wilson came home in 6th place to lead the Bravettes, who finished 10th in the team competition. On the soccer side, Flathead girls lost to Glacier at Crosstown, but bounced back with a 3-1 win over Butte, and the boys also beat Butte after losing to Glacier with a 4-0 victory over Butte. In Columbia Falls, the boys team improved to 9-0 in soccer with a 9-1 win against Thompson Falls and a 3-1 win against Big Fork on Saturday. The girls lost to Big Fork on Saturday 3-2, but they won earlier in the week against Thompson Falls 9-2. The Big Fork girls also picked up a huge victory 10-0 over Stillwater on Thursday. And Whitefish, the girls and boys both beat Libby, with the boys winning 6-0 and the girls winning 5-0. Elsewhere in golf, Glacier's Torrin Murray defeated teammate Jonah Wynn in a playoff to win the individual title after the pair tied at 6 under par, and the Wolfpack swept the boys and girls Western AA Golf Championships Friday at the Canyon River Golf Club. Glacier's Abby Townsend brought home a 3rd place finish, while teammate Vida Cole, Kento Tkachuk, and Maggie Milton all finished in the top 10 as the Wolfpack girls finished at 740 to win the overall team competition. That is the weekly roundup of the biggest headlines of the week, so let's get into the football recap for the Valley's 5 local high school teams. Glacier improved to 5-0 and 3-0 in conference play with a dominating 63-8 win over Missoula Hellgate. Kobe Dorcheus ran for 185 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 95-yard run in the second quarter. Before the game, the 2014 team was honored for their 10th anniversary of their state title win. Glacier will have a tough test this week as they head to Helena Capital to play a 4-1 team who are also 3-0 in conference play. Flathead lost to Butte 41-10 to remain winless on the season, and they'll look to get their first win of the season when they host 1-4 Helena at Legends Stadium on Friday. Big Fork lost their first game of the season as they faced Frenchtown, the top-ranked A school in the state according to Max Preps. They lost 48-13, but had an impressive showing from Tamrit Savick, who caught both scores for the Big Fork. Whitefish hosted the reigning A state champions in Dillon and kept it close, but ultimately lost 19-13. Whitefish quarterback Carson Golick threw and rushed for a touchdown, but some costly team turnovers allowed Dillon to escape Whitefish with the win. Columbia Falls got a huge 42-0 win over Polson to improve to 3-2 on the year. Banyan Johnston went 27-30 with 309 yards and 4 touchdowns. Reggie Zappa had 15 carries for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns, while receivers Easton Brooks had 107 yards and a score, while Cooper Ross had 7 catches for 91 yards and also scored twice. Looking ahead for this Friday's matchups, we have a great contest between Glacier and Capital. Flathead hosts Helena, and Big Fork heads to Whitefish for a big conference matchup. Columbia Falls does not play this week as it is their bye week. Other big things to look forward to this week, we have another Crosstown matchup with Flathead hosting Glacier this Thursday for girls volleyball. In golf for the AA schools, the state tournament begins Thursday and Friday, with the A schools beginning on Friday and Saturday. That should do it for our first Keeping Score Prep Sports podcast. Stay tuned every week where I will highlight the latest news and scores in the Valley for high school sports. I've been your host, Josh Amick, and we hope to see you next week. Until then, take care.